Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Jason, and welcome back to another installment of my life going downhill very rapidly. Today, I wanted to talk about a little incident that happened about 2 years ago, so 2014, I believe. It was, I'll give it the month. It was like June, I think. I still to this day have the picture on my Instagram page. It's my like personal account. A little promo, lol.jason. But anyway, the time that I got shot, literally. So I don't want to feed in too much graphic detail because I feel like it's going to be unnecessary, but I'll definitely cut to the chase, but have a decent, length in the story. So it was about a week or two since we got out of school, my sophomore year, and I decided to go out to eat with some friends. So we ended up going to the local Wendy's. Yeah, I know, I'm not classy. Hey, it was something to eat. So we get there and sit down as someone else is ordering the food for us. And I noticed across from our table, there was a group of dudes who were just kind of staring at us. Now, I didn't take it into consideration thinking that, they were up to no good, but apparently they were. So one of the guys from their table gets up to go order his food, and I'm like, okay, do whatever. Literally comes back, and like the little fountain where they have all the like selections of drinks. So he puts his drink down and presses the button and just stares directly at me. I'm just looking at him like, what? Like, do you want to say hi? Do you need $1 for something? So he takes the drink and sits back down with the rest of his crew. Apparently they're hard as fuck when they clearly weren't. And then they continue to stare at our table. So subconsciously I'm thinking they're plotting hard as fuck. So one of my friends, I'll call her Stephanie. So Stephanie looks at me and says, hey, do you notice those dudes looking at us? And I whisper, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with them. So they actually get up and leave. Turns out none of them really had food. I guess that was just a hangout spot. Yeah, I don't see how that's... Anyway, so we end up eating our food and we leave, and at this time I didn't drive, so we decided to just take a walk back towards our school to the local park. So as we're walking down the street, I see a black car keep zooming past us, and I know it wasn't the same car because they would literally then turn down the block, turn back around, and just repeat the same thing. So as we're walking, I just keep seeing this car going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I tried to ignore it and put in my headphones and listen to music, so I guess at the side of my eye, I see them coming back again, but all of the windows were down. And they were all literally just staring at our group. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of getting sketchy. I ain't folding for it. And like, my senses tell me that they were up to something because who the fuck rides up and down the block like we're at a parade? You want to show off your car so damn bad? Go to an auto show. I hope I don't get a little cranky. It's currently like midnight. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, so... The story's really good though, so don't like click away or anything. So we get closer to the park and we have to cross the street. So there's no crosswalk. We kind of just jaywalked our way over because the park was like on the opposite side of the street, but there was no street of its own. I kind of don't know.
What the hell am I talking about?
So we cross the street and get to the park and we sit down with everything. We just start hanging out. A couple of us were on the 2 benches that faced each other, and then a couple of us were on the swings. So there was like these little turny things. I forget what they're called, but it's like, you sit on them and they have like the metal bars and it just twists around in circles. So I decided to get on that, by myself, and I'm just, playing around, I guess. And in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking about that black car, like, man, that was pretty odd. I was like not expecting them to just like repeatedly go up and down this street, and the street was really busy, so I don't see why they thought it was that important. So I end up getting on my phone after I'm spinning on this thing, and it's spinning really, really slowly, and I'm sitting to where I'm facing the outside and I'm just spinning with it. So every time I spin around, I would see my friends talking, and then it would spin back around. And so as I'm doing this, I saw the black car come once again, and I'm like, oh my fucking gosh, they just love to play all day. So I was spinning around kind of fast, but it was still slow enough to where like I can really focus to see my whereabouts. So it spins around one more time. I'm looking at the swings, and then as it spins around for the last time, I see the black car zoom down our street. And my friends get up, and I'm like, all right, something's getting a little fishy. So I stand up, but I still didn't get off the thing. Like, I was still kind of turning, but I was like really alert about it. And so my friends were like, dude, what's going on? And I'm like, I have no fucking clue. Like, this man is crazy. I don't know what him and his crew are doing. Are they dropping out, or like, what's going on? So I get off the little spinny thing and I walk back towards them. And as I'm doing so, the car zooms past again. And at this point, this is like the 10th time that it's happened. So my heart's kind of beating fast. Like, I don't know if they're playing around or if their like intentions were wrong, but it was planned a little bit too much for my ass. So I end up sitting down with them, and I was like, okay, if this guy comes back again with his friends, we probably just gotta bounce. And so about 15-20 minutes go by and literally nothing happens, so I assume that they left. And you know, me and my friends are still at the park talking and reminiscing about, you know, school and stuff, I guess, because, you know, we just got out recently. So when I tell you, out of the skies above, this bitch decided to do one more lap. He just had to get a victory lap in. Like, I don't know what their problem was. And keep in mind, this park was kind of on a hill. So when you go to the back, there's like this open bush where the trees are kind of like split, and it goes down to this drench where it's like all grass, but it's like really flooded because it rained like the day before. But it was really yucky down there. So the most horrifying thing happened at this point. When I tell you everything went in slow motion, I'm talking Matrix times 10 in this bitch. So the black car swoops back around, and let me tell you, a school was directly across the street and they were still in session. The car comes back around and stops right after it turns like onto the block to where the park is. They stop and they roll down their windows and they yell, "Hey!" And I'm like, all right, no, yeah, we gotta go. So all of my friends start to get up, and you know, we're packing up. And no one responds to this guy. So he parks the car, and all 4 of them get out of the car and like start running towards us. And I'm like, no. I was caught off guard. They all had black hoodies on, but one had a gray hoodie on in particular, and he had like this little mask up. It had like these claws that were like ripping it to where it was like a skeleton. Oh my god, I remember this shit so vividly. I'm like getting goosebumps. So 2 of them had paintball guns that had orange paint in them, and the other 2 had BB guns. Now I don't know if you know what BB guns are, but that shit will pierce your skin if it gets a chance. So the guys with the orange BB guns were facing us already to where the passenger in the back seat were, and they just start full-fledged sprinting. And at this point, me and my friends are just like, we're out. So the park is surrounded by a gate because it's kind of a small neighborhood park. So the only way out was the front entrance where they clearly parked at, and the back way where I said it goes downhill into that trench. And there's like surrounding houses around it, but it's technically their backyard space. And then like once you go through that trench and you go up, there's another part that's about 2 blocks down. So, oh my god. So the driver and the other backseat person, I guess, had the BB guns, and they start blasting everything. And I'm hearing all the equipment, which is like the metal, like go bing, bing, bing. And I'm like, I'm like hyperventilated, but at the same time, I am sprinting full speed. That shit was not happening. But then remember when I said everything was in slow motion? I was the first one that was already standing up and alert, because when I got off of that spinny thing and I started walking towards them, they instantly pulled back around and everything just kind of stopped for a second. So I looked at my 4 friends sitting on either side of the benches that were facing each other, and I looked at them and I was like, yo, we gotta go. Like, I swear it felt just like that. They all look at me and look back, and I already see, like, I kid you not, like 200 paintballs that were orange coming towards me, and I see them all consecutively going down the line, but it was in slow motion. So I look at it, and my friends look back at me, and it shoots me in the chest, and it stung like a bitch. And they were only about 30 feet away from me, tops. So it was really close range. So my friends get their book bags and everything, and we just start like sprinting for our lives. And so once I turn around, I was always told in certain situations to run in a zigzag or kind of throw them off. And since we were at a park, I tried to do that, but I guess these dudes had hella good aim because the shit was not flying. So I turn around and I feel my back getting pierced with something. Now, I had on a blue North Face, but it was kind of like a windbreaker type jacket, so it was very thin, but it was pretty thick at the same time. I'll insert a picture of me right now wearing it. Plus, I have really broad shoulders and back, so it didn't really hurt as bad, but I definitely felt it, and it stung like a bitch. So I'm turning around, and I'm feeling paint splatter all over the back of my neck and my clothes and everything and my legs, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And my friends are getting shot. Stephanie got her whole weave messed up, and she was really pressed. And then the guys with the BB guns, they don't run in the park, they run straight over the gate, and then they start shooting us to where we're walking. They know that the only way out is to go down that trench area, so they align themselves up to shoot us face first with the BB guns. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. So we're running down the trench, and one of the BB guns goes past my arm and scrapes through my jacket. So now a piece of my jacket is ripped. I see red stuff coming out. I'm pretty sure it was blood. and we're running down this trench for our lives. So after that, I hear them get back in the car and zoom away. All of us are just like burst with energy running down. And it got to the point where I was damn near first. I don't know if this was a track race or not, but like I'm dead first. I was not playing around. And from earlier in the video, I mentioned how it rained the day before. Down that trench, it was like grass, but it was very high up, so it really wasn't cut. And I was wearing shorts that day, but my shoes were soaked. And from that day forward, I never touched those shoes. Cause it's just like, I don't know, it probably would have been bad luck, I guess. I had like these Nike Elite socks too. Everything was soaked. It was all the way up to almost my kneecaps, and we're running through this grass, going through neighbors' backyards and stuff, trying to get away from these people. And so we get to the other side, which happened to be the beginning of the parking lot to the other park that was 2 blocks away. And so, you know, we all get to catch our breaths, and I was like, no, I gotta call my mom. We're done for the day. And so all of us are just talking about what the fuck just happened, and I'm over here taking Instagram pictures because it was that important at the time. But again, I was a sophomore. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Clearly, that was the dumbest decision I've ever done. I don't really know how to wrap it up, but moral of the story, if someone's looking at you fishy and you're getting those bad vibes, you definitely gotta just like consider yourself like alert. From them staring at us in Wendy's, from walking down the street, seeing their car repeatedly go up and down the street. Those were already the first 2 red flags. Then when we got to the park and I was spinning on that thing and I saw them zoom past again, I was shook. I was shook. But seriously, it's very scary how when you're in a dangerous situation, how everything could just slow down and your reaction time really changes. Because I never had prior experience to like being shot at like that. It's definitely something that was a learning experience. And when I asked my friends that, they told me that they felt like they were in a movie as well. Like with the whole slow motion thing. Ricky! Let me stop playing. But no, seriously, that wraps up today's story time with, you know, me being shot at in real life. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button because there's a lot more where this came from. Also, leave this video a really big like if you really enjoyed it because, yeah, it helps and you guys are freaking amazing. Again, October's coming up soon, so you know there's a lot of videos I got in store. Leave any topics that you want me to discuss, any Halloween tips and tricks, all that good shit. Also, if anyone was interested in seeing the picture, yeah, it's real. Seriously, you guys have been nothing but positive in the comments, and I do try my best to respond, so like, don't like get upset with me if I don't. I'm getting to it. But yeah, until the next video. Hell no. Bye.